What's up, Ducks fans? We are on our way back to the pond for another Ducks home game. It is the second game of our final homestand of the season, and it is our seventh straight game against a non-playoff team, which is also our seventh straight game against a Canadian NHL team. So not since 1970 has a Canadian NHL team failed to make the postseason, and back then it was only Toronto and Montreal. So that's pretty insane that now with 7 NHL teams, Canada's failing to put one into the postseason. So that's interesting. And as I said, it's our 7th straight game playing each and every one of those teams in a row. And we're 4-1-1 so far on that Canadian stretch. So like I said, 4-1-1. We beat Winnipeg, Ottawa, Edmonton, and Calgary, lost to Montreal, and lost in overtime to Toronto. So tonight it's Vancouver. They are 28, 36, and 13, but they did just beat the Sharks, so I think tonight's game will be competitive. The Ducks, we are 43, 23, and 10, and another reason that I think this game's going to be competitive is I was looking at our injury report today, and it is ridiculous. Seriously, I thought it was a sick April Fool's joke. I'm still hoping it's an April Fool's joke, but I don't think it is. I mean, I'm kind of holding out hope until we get to Honda Center, but I mean, we recalled Anton Hudobin and Chris Wagner, so it doesn't seem like it's a joke. But our injury report, so Freddie, I was worried about John Gibson being injured in the game against Calgary. It turns out Freddie also was injured in that game, and that is why he was pulled, I guess, at the beginning of the third period in that game against Calgary. Supposedly he suffered a concussion, and Ricard Raquel has appendicitis, so he's expected to be out about 1 week, which it's interesting because Ryan Getzlaf had the same issue earlier in the season, but when Getzy came back, he only missed 4 games, but when he came back, he really wasn't himself. So I am worried about Raquel coming back and being himself when he gets back. Hampus Lindholm is sick, so he's not going to play tonight. David Perron, we finally learned more about his injury. He's been out now for over a week, and his injury is a separated shoulder, and he's expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks from the time of the injury. So he's hoping to return by the start of the playoffs, which it's critical that we get him back because he's really the piece that allows us to separate Corey Perry and Ryan Getzlaf successfully on 2 different lines and have, 2, like I have been saying, 2 top lines, so to speak. And then also, we know that, Simone Dupre is still out, Kevin BX is still out. I think I read they did skate today with the team, so that's good. And then Josh Manson, we know, he was still out as of the Calgary game. So it's just like, I mean, I am at a loss for words, really. The injury report is practically half of our roster. And, I worry about Freddie. He had that concussion last season from when he got hit with the goal when the crossbar came down on the back of his head, and he missed significant time. So now he has another concussion. I don't know, how long is he going to be out entering the playoffs? I was really hoping to have, the top goalie tandem in the league, in the playoffs with Gibson and Freddie, and who knows how long he's going to be hurt now. So I mean, it's pretty upsetting this close to the playoffs to have all these injuries, and I just hope we get healthy. I honestly, right now, I've been saying I'm not I'm not going to be super upset if we don't win the division, and I especially feel that way now. I just want us to be healthy entering the playoffs. Whatever position we finish in the Pacific, I just want to be healthy because, I mean, whether it's the Kings in the first round, the Sharks in the first round, I mean, the Blackhawks, the Predators, the Wild, it actually could still be the Avalanche. So, I mean, there's plenty of teams we could still play, but all those teams are going to be tough. And, I mean, we need to be healthy in the first round, So, come mid-April, we need to be healthy. So, I am worried, but we will see what happens. And hopefully we just don't sustain any more injuries tonight. But as I said, I think it's going to be a close game. I'm going to predict that the Ducks beat the Canucks 3-2 tonight. And I got my black Temu jersey on. I have 2 jerseys left this season that are undefeated, and it is this jersey, which is 4-0-0, and my orange Corey Perry jersey, which is 3-0-0. So I'll be wearing this jersey obviously tonight, and I believe my orange Corey Perry jersey in our next game against Dallas, and see what their records are after that. Yeah, you got my jersey, you got my prediction. Go Ducks, and I will talk to you all after the game. What's up, Ducks fans? That was a frustrating loss, and the Anaheim Ducks just lost 3-2 to the Vancouver Canucks. We struck first within the first minute of the game. Josh Manson scored, he was one of the ones I was wondering about still being injured before the game, and of all the injuries I listed, he was the only one who did play tonight, but he scored, and it was assisted by Silfverberg and Cogliano. And then in the second period, the Canucks tied it up, and then there wasn't any more scoring until the third when Nate Thompson scored, and it was assisted by Chris Wagner, who that was his first career assist. And then Vancouver did score the next two goals to win the game 3-2. The final and game-winning goal was scored by Emerson Edom, so he joined the long list of players who were on the Ducks within the last two seasons who have scored against us this season. So it's happened with Carl Hagelin and Devontae Smith-Pelly and Emerson Edom, and I don't know if there's any others, but those are the three that I can count right now, so just from memory, but that's annoying. Yeah, so before the game, I failed to mention, I wanted to say we signed Chris Wagner to a 2-year contract extension this season, or today, a 2-year contract extension. Yeah, so good for him. And the other thing I wanted to say was before the game, I was talking about how the 7 Canadian NHL teams have failed to make the postseason this year, and the way I worded it at first to make it kind of sounded like no Canadian team has missed the playoffs since 1970, and I just wanted to kind of make that little correction. Obviously, what I meant is since 1970, there has not been a season where there wasn't at least one Canadian NHL team in the playoffs. So, like I said, I mean, that's implied by what I said after my first sentence, but my first sentence just kind of was misleading, so I just kind of wanted to correct it. But yeah, it was an annoying game. We were shorthanded, though. I mean, we knew that coming in that we were pretty banged up, and you know, it is what it is. Hopefully, we can get some of our dudes back for the game in a couple days against Dallas, because that's going to be a tough one. But Brandon Peary appeared to get hurt today, and I don't think he re-entered the game. I believe he did not, actually. And yeah, so we'll be waiting now to hear if he has a concussion or something. He got hit hard into the boards, and it looked like it may be his head. I don't know. So that's just great if that's another injury. So yeah, we'll see. It was an annoying game because injuries and now another injury, and then we lost, and Emerson Edom scored. So it was a frustrating one, but hopefully we can get the win against Dallas on Sunday, especially since I hate the Stars. So go Ducks, and I will see you in a couple days.